Alright, hey. We don't want to waste too much time here, so we're the Undead. We just got back from Rebellion, and the night before we were playing at another club in town here called the Underworld. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Okay, but we're the Undead, and we got songs to play. I'm wiped out, man. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
How you guys doing? Yeah.
try to mix it up tonight and tomorrow night so we don't bore you with the same set every time. So we haven't done this one yet. Here we go. Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't wanna feel the pain anymore. I don't wanna feel the pain anymore. Stay alone and wonder why. I little things like you make me cry. You never got a thing to do. To waste my time with you. I Hey. Before we do this next song, I just want to make an announcement. We got some special guests here tonight. I'm really honored to have them here. I think a lot of you are familiar with the story about Brian Deneke and his murder back in 1997, I believe it was, in Texas. There's going to be a play opening on Tuesday night, part of the Fringe Festival called The Blind, and it's going to be about Brian's murder. Okay, and we've actually got tonight. Brian's parents are out here to see the opening of the play, and they honored us with their presence here today. So they're coming up. Okay, they're gonna come up here for a minute.
Never been out of the country. They did a GoFundMe to get here, and this means the world to us because they lost their son for no fucking reason.
All right, let's give it up.
There's also a movie called Bomb City. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It tells about the whole story about how somebody ran him over twice. And give it up, it's their first punk show ever. They came all the way from Amarillo, Texas. Bobby hadn't written a song. Dave Street wrote the lyrics, and Bobby added the music to it, and this is really about Brian. You don't want to hurt your ears. Your other son won't shoot me.
So if you can, go check out the play. Where's the play going to be at? Come on here. This is Jenny, the director.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the playwright and creator of The Blind, based on, both of the Deneke sons. Brian, who was murdered in 1997, but this actually centers on Brian's older brother, Jason, who I was in school with growing up. So I kind of wrote this about the two of us getting together after all these years from very different backgrounds and just getting really real about some of the things that led to, this tragedy happening to his brother. So our actors are here. This is Heather Manderson, Gabe Sherman, I don't know where you are, but they're here as well. We opened Tuesday night at Camden Town Methodist Church. It's a little bitty church space for 2 nights, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we're at Walk Arts, north side of Camden Town with Belsize Park for 4 more nights. But we've got little cards where you can find out more information about the show if you'd like to turn up and support.
We'll
and
put
the
them in our
Denekes will
merch
be here
table.
as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing that.
Okay, as Diana was saying, we went to play a memorial event for Brian back in, I think it was 1990. July of 2000, and we were on tour, so we were able to be there, and I was introduced to Mike, and he had an envelope in his hand. He said he received a letter from this guy who said that he wrote lyrics for me, and it was from Dave Street, who's written a lot of the great Undead lyrics, and it was the lyrics to this song. I read it, and the inspiration hit me like instantly. We went back to the hotel. We had about an hour before our set. Went back to the hotel, wrote the music. We rehearsed the song in the hotel just acoustically, and we went back to the memorial event, and we just at the end of the set we did this song, and I'm really proud of this one, man, because it really has a lot of meaning to all of us. Okay, you ready? Go ahead. to know that he was loved. He's the more, and he's right. One guy I'm gonna knock on the next door. They both the more. America, please don't kill us all. America, please don't kill us all. And I'm the world. And Amarillo. She's Amarillo. And Amarillo. She's Amarillo. Thank you so much. Gotta catch my breath after that. Wow. Okay.
What? Okay. If it's too loud, you can go back. I don't want to hurt your eardrums.
Going Since we last been out here, we've had a couple of releases. We actually released an EP back in 2017. It was a tribute to like the 1960s beach movies. It's called Having an Undead Summer. So we're going to do 2 songs from that right now.
Are we okay with time?
Good on time? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Alright, I think this is gonna be our last one. Again, if you know it, sing along. If you don't, sit down. Horror business! 1, 2! Alright, hey, thanks a lot with the Undead. I'll give us a few minutes to break down. We got t-shirts, CDs, and a few other little tchotchke things there, but we sold out on the LPs, so all we got for music is the CDs. We have plenty of those left though. All right.
And we're playing on the street.
Oh yeah, and later on tonight, we're going to be playing down the street at Devonshire Arms, so it's another free show. So we're going to be playing with a band from Brazil. I forgot their name because I couldn't pronounce Spanish anyway. So
And it's different songs too.
we'll be doing a bit of a different set too.
Won't bore you with the same.
All right, thank you.